Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about SharePoint Online. SharePoint Online is one of the services that is available through Office 365. Office 365 is available to people that use Microsoft and have Microsoft Business affiliations or Microsoft Education affiliations. You can have access to Microsoft SharePoint for $5 a month per user if you do not have a Microsoft account through the organization that you work for. The Microsoft SharePoint is a system that's in place to allow for collaboration and teamwork and organization of resources in a department. The major setup for the SharePoint is the creation of sites. There are two major types of sites for SharePoint, the team site and the communication site. The team site allows for the sharing of documents and to allow for conversations and the keeping track of events, the managing of tasks, and it is connected with an Office 365 group. There's also a communication site which allows for the creation of content that can be shared with people in an organization and also out of an organization. It helps keep people informed and engaged on topics, events, and projects. For today's tutorial, we are going to be talking about communication sites. When you first create your communication site, you have to choose a design. These designs basically are outlines for the best layout for the site based on what your needs are. So there's the topic layout, the showcase layout, and then also a blank layout. So the topic layout has a combination of images and text. If your final resource is going to have a combination of information such as news, events, or other types of content. The showcase layout is a design for products, teams, or events that are using photos or images more heavily. And then the blank layout allows for you to create these different boxes on your own. For the first time that you're using the system, it might be beneficial to pick one of the two, and it's not too much of a hardship to undo anything that Microsoft puts together in the template for you because it's really easy to delete stuff. So today, we're just going to be working with a topic. So for our site name, topic, SharePoint, how to. Once you have your SharePoint created, you can start editing. So with this layout that we had already started with, we have a hero setting here, we have news, we have events, and we have documents and comments at the bottom. These are just the ones that were automatically inserted by that template that we chose, and we can change any of those and convert them to any other one that we want at any point. Also, this defaults to having a one-column layout for each of those, but that's also modifiable. The nice thing about the hero set out here is that it's a visual showcase for the rest of the site, and before we've done any modification to it, by clicking on the different tabs, it actually sends us to SharePoint resources that are beneficial if you want to know more about a communication site or about the hero web part. So the first thing that you want to do is probably to start with some edits. So when you're in each particular section, you can modify each section as a unit, and you can also, while moving around, insert different sections into the section in between. So when you click on those and you're putting in a new section, you can check to see what type of section you would like to put in based on the list of available sections. So also, while you're working, if you click on the plus on the side, you can decide what kind of column width you would like, and then you hit the pluses on the top, and that's yet again where you find what type of section you would like to put into your page. Back here at the top with our hero set, we have the nice ability with these cubes just to drag them around and move our content with ease. We also have the ability just to click here and to change what they link to, change the title, and also change what image is associated with that. When it comes to the links here, we have multiple options for what that directs to. It can direct to different parts of the SharePoint page. It can direct to external links, and it can direct to other things that you update and upload directly here. What I like to do when I'm working with this is upload everything to the SharePoint to begin with, and then link it from the site or my documents, so that when somebody goes to the document section of my SharePoint, it's the same resources that are available here. But depending on what the goal of your final SharePoint is, that might not be something that you want to do, and you might want your documents to actually be different than what you're displaying here. So that's the basics here with those modifications. Like I said, you again have the option to insert columns and do modifications along those lines, and can move things around. You also have the ability to modify how many of these blocks you want in a section, which is beneficial for different visual layouts. Within this section here that's called News, you can put in articles, and you could keep it as a news section, but you can also change the name of it and use the same layout style. And working with that, if you click on edit, you also have the ability to change the layout for this, just as you did with the other section. The SharePoint site is beneficial for users because it allows you to create a website that has a very dynamic look to it without having to know any sort of coding or CSS. It's just click and drag to be able to change things around, which makes things quick and easy even if you don't know everything that the tool is able to do. So with this, you also have these tools at the top. So while you're doing that editing throughout your home page here, you can also create other pages, which would be kind of pages that are sub pages of that home page. So some of those boxes, if you wanted, people could click on those and they could get to completely new pages from that home page. And you can make your changes here from that with links or site pages. You can also change the flow of the site. You can export export your site, and you can also sort how you see things here depending on how much content you have. And then you can always quickly go back to your home page, just like this. And yet again, your documents are here, the pages are there, site content's there, and you also have the ability to modify how that looks as well, with the addition of new links and also changing the order of that home, documents, pages, and site content. When your site's complete, you also have the ability to search via the site for key terms, which is beneficial for when you end up with users that are looking for particular resources. Your site can not only be well organized visually, but you can also have them search internally. And you just want to make sure that when you're done with all of your changes, that you submit publish at the end. There were other options when you do edits that involve saving drafts, and so that would be if you wanted to work on your site but it was already public and you didn't necessarily want the public to see those sites yet. You also have the ability to follow SharePoints and also sharing resources. One of the things that's interesting about SharePoint is that if you have the right administrative controls and your organization allows it, you can share your SharePoint with outside users, but that is a difficult process and does require, in some situations, for them to have Microsoft accounts. But for as far as internal use, you can just search for people within your organization and share with them with ease. So that's the basics of the Office 365 SharePoint online system. It has a lot of different tools that are available in its layout and can create very dynamic websites with relative ease.